It started with a tremor, so faint at first I thought it was just my imagination. But then the sky cracked open. I remember standing there, eyes locked on a strange shimmering tear in the clouds. The moon, it was wrong, too big, too close. It didn't drift peacefully anymore. It loomed, casting a distorted shadow over my neighborhood like a predator deciding when to strike. That was the first clue, the first sign that something far bigger than any of us was unraveling. News flooded in. Mars had deviated from its orbit. They said gravity was pulling it toward us like two dancers spiraling in a fatal waltz. It wasn't just Earth and Mars either. Every planet, Jupiter, Saturn, even the frozen giants like Uranus and Neptune, were caught in the same gravitational madness. Something had disrupted the delicate balance of the solar system, and we were all being pulled together. At first, I couldn't process it. I mean, how do you begin to grasp that your entire reality, the Earth beneath your feet, the stars you wish on, might collide and vanish in a cosmic fireball? The days that followed were surreal. The tides swelled unnaturally, crashing into coastlines like they were trying to crawl inland. Earthquakes became routine. Animals fled to places no one had ever seen them before. Birds didn't fly anymore, they screamed. The sky was no longer blue. It glowed with strange auroras, bruised purples and electric greens from magnetospheres bleeding into one another as planets moved in. Then came the heat. As Venus drew near, its thick atmosphere began to leak into ours. It was like breathing through boiling silk. Plants wilted, rivers steamed. The air tasted metallic, like the world had swallowed a mouthful of blood. I watched as Saturn's rings shattered in our atmosphere. What looked like a meteor shower was actually pieces of ice and rock the size of cities slicing through our skies. People called it beautiful. Some cried, others fell to their knees and whispered prayers into the smoke. When Jupiter arrived, it was like staring into the eye of a god, massive, eternal, a swirling storm of pressure and fury. Its gravitational pull began distorting Earth's crust. Volcanoes erupted, tectonic plates cracked like brittle glass. Cities disappeared into the sea. And yet I couldn't look away. How could something so devastating be so mesmerizing? Time felt broken. Nights lasted minutes. Days stretched for hours. Clocks were useless. The concept of tomorrow became a myth. I don't know how I'm still here, alive, breathing, thinking. Maybe I'm the last. Maybe I'm not even on Earth anymore. Everything is fused, blended into a nightmarish sculpture of planets coiling into one another. The air is thin. The ground pulses like a dying heartbeat. I feel the pull of gravity in different directions, sometimes sideways, sometimes upward. My bones ache from it. And yet, there's a strange kind of peace in this chaos. A part of me understands now how fragile we were, how much we took for granted, the balance, the order, the illusion of permanence. We danced in a perfect clockwork, and now the gears are grinding into oblivion. If this is the end, I'm not afraid anymore. I've seen the universe up close, not through a telescope, but with my own eyes. I've felt its rage and wonder. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. The silence is louder now, not the kind of silence you hear in a quiet room, but a cosmic silence like the void itself is holding its breath. No birdsong, no wind, no voices, just the distant rumble of shifting worlds, like thunder rolling through space. I walk through what used to be a forest, though it barely resembles one now. The trees are scorched and twisted, some half floating where gravity has started to lose its grip. The sky is smeared with the shadow of Neptune, its blue haze a haunting reminder that once it was billions of miles away. Now it looms so close I swear I can see the storm swirling across its surface. It's beautiful in the most terrifying way. I think I passed the remnants of a highway. Cars melted into the pavement, their frames warped as if the earth tried to swallow them mid-scream. A rusted road sign still clings to a leaning post. It reads next exit, home. I stood there for a while just staring. Funny how something so mundane can feel sacred when the world ends. Then something strange happened. I felt light, physically. Like my feet weren't really touching the ground. I realized Earth's mass had changed, merged, compressed. Our planet was no longer ours. It was part of a monstrous celestial body stitched together by gravitational force. Time didn't tick anymore. It drifted. I could feel it slipping past me like sand through fingers. But with all the destruction, all the chaos, there's one thing that keeps me moving: curiosity. Somewhere deep inside, even as I watched the sky collapse, I still wondered, what's next? If planets could collide, could something new be born? That thought burns in me like a last spark. Maybe this wasn't the end. Maybe it was transformation. The universe isn't sentimental. It's a cycle of creation and destruction. Stars explode to birth new worlds. Maybe this collision, as horrific as it was, planted the seeds for something beyond comprehension. My breath grows thinner each hour, but I write in the dust with my fingers. I leave words behind in ruins, not out of hope that someone will read them, but to prove I was here, that I saw it, that I lived through the impossible. And if somehow some being or intelligence finds this record, know this: we danced among giants, we watched the heavens fall, and in the heart of that cosmic storm, for one fleeting moment, a human stood still and felt it all. I can barely tell when I'm dreaming anymore. Sometimes I close my eyes and see Earth the way it used to be. Morning light, slipping through my window, the sound of rain tapping on the roof, someone laughing in the distance. I hold on to those fragments like relics. But when I open my eyes, I'm surrounded by ruins and the ever-changing sky. I saw Mercury the other day, what's left of it. Just a molten shard, glowing like a dying coal as it drifted through the scarlet clouds. It collided with a mountain range that used to be part of Asia. The explosion sent a shockwave so strong it knocked me off my feet. My ears haven't stopped ringing since. Gravity is unpredictable now. Some days I feel heavy, like the ground is pulling me into itself. Other days I float for seconds at a time, limbs drifting upward like I'm underwater. My body is adapting, I think. Or maybe it's giving up. I can't tell anymore. But my mind is still wide awake. Because there's something else out here. I've seen it, flickering just beyond the horizon. Not a planet, not a star. Something new, like a pulse. A presence. Maybe the collision of these worlds didn't just tear things apart. Maybe it opened something, a rift, a doorway. I don't know how to explain it, only that when I look in that direction I feel drawn, not with fear, with awe. What if this isn't just planetary collapse? What if this is evolution on a cosmic scale? What if, in destroying the old, the universe is making room for something it's never tried before? I don't think I'll last much longer. My lungs burn with every breath. The light is different now, too bright even though the sun hasn't shown itself in days. But I keep moving, pulled by instinct, by the need to see what lies at the center of this impossible storm. If you're hearing this, if you're reading my words from some future I'll never see, know that I didn't run. I witnessed it. I walked through the shattered remnants of the solar system, felt the heartbeat of colliding worlds, and stood on the edge of a new beginning. And I believe, no, I know that something is waiting beyond the chaos, something beautiful, something unknown. Maybe that's the point of all this, not to survive, but to witness, to wonder, and to remember that even at the end of everything, we still reached for the stars. I don't know what day it is anymore. Time has unraveled into something meaningless. Moments stretch and collapse in on themselves like the dying gravity wells of broken planets. But I keep writing, keep remembering. It's the only thing left that feels truly human. The ground beneath me isn't Earth, not entirely. It's pieces of it, continental fragments fused with lunar stone, Martian dust, and the crushed bones of a world that once held oceans and cities. I walk on a graveyard of planets, and yet it hums. There's energy here, residue of ancient forces grinding against each other. It's as if I'm standing in the chest of a sleeping god, listening to the low thrum of its heartbeat. I saw Jupiter's eye today, still spinning, still furious, suspended like a curse in the sky. It's not whole anymore, fractured, bled out, but it stares. watching, reminding me that even giants fall. The horizon is no longer flat. It rises and dips with chunks of worlds orbiting unnaturally close. Some float silently, casting shadows that stretch for miles. Others spin too fast, their surfaces warping from the pressure. And still, I walk, driven not by survival now, but by purpose. I have to see what this all means. And then, today, I saw it again. The light. It wasn't like a star. It was softer. A pulse. Like the breath of something newly born. It came from the place where all the debris seems to drift, an invisible center, like a heart pulling the rest of the chaos toward it. I felt it, not just in my chest, but in my mind. Like a memory I'd never lived. I don't think it's just gravitational. I think it's conscious. Maybe when every planet collided, when their cores touched and their histories spilled into each other, something emerged. A synthesis. Not alive like we understand life, but aware. Becoming. I dropped to my knees. Not from exhaustion, but from understanding. We were never separate. Not Earth, not Mars, not any of us. We were pieces of something waiting to return, to merge, to evolve into the next state of being. Not death, not destruction, transformation. And if that light is what I think it is, a new form of intelligence born from the collision of worlds, then maybe this wasn't a mistake. Maybe this was the universe remembering itself. I don't know if I'll reach it. My body is breaking down. I'm cold and hot at the same time. My heartbeat is irregular. My vision flickers like a dying signal. But I'm close, so close. If I vanish before I reach the center, let this final thought remain. We thought we were separate islands in the void, orbiting alone, but we were always one, always meant to come together, to become something greater. I go now, not as one human, but as part of everything that ever was, into the light. If you've made it this far, then you're more than just a viewer. You're a witness, like me. So ask yourself, what are we really made of? Not just our atoms or memories, but our willingness to seek meaning even in the face of collapse, to imagine, to wonder, to hope. If this story stirred something in you, share it. Let others feel what you felt. Let the questions spread, because maybe that's how we evolve, not through survival, but through connection. Subscribe if you believe curiosity is stronger than fear. Like the video if you felt the weight and beauty of what it means to be part of something far bigger than yourself. And remember, the end is never just the end. It's the start of a new question. I'll meet you in the next one, wherever that may be.